Welcome to TC and the Wolf, a brand new podcast featuring the Reverend Tom Chandler, a talented but slightly disgruntled music producer, and Nick Wolf, a singer, songwriter, and technology wizard. Important note, everything we say here is a joke and only for entertainment purposes. Do not take this seriously. The opinions expressed do not represent the views of anyone else or any companies we may be affiliated with. Make sure to subscribe, like, follow, and share. And as always, drink responsibly and make sure to tip your waiters.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to TC and the Wolf, episode number 7. Here we go, buddy.
Lucky number 7.
That's right. And most podcasts, I don't know if you know this, but there was a bunch of research that came out recently that most podcasts never get past 3 episodes. And then the ones that typically do succeed and move on go past 10 episodes. So we're getting close to that 10 episode mark.
Our first goal was to make an episode.
And our
new goal is to make 10. Well, to reach 10.
To reach 10, yes. And sorry we've all been kind of out of touch for a bit, but a lot of holidays, a lot of traveling, a lot of partying, a lot of things happening where the scheduling wasn't really working out. We will be having guests again. Sorry about today that we couldn't do that, but we will have more people that are, a character like Bernie and such like that, and a bunch of artists and things like that coming on here. And we'll be talking about, life, music, gear, everything that we usually talk about here.
And if you want to be on the podcast, DM us. You know how to reach us. And speaking of which, we are looking for a production assistant.
Yes, and we've had some people reach out to us that suddenly disappeared. So please, we need somebody to come in here, kind of solve this and get it set up and help us, because me and Nick had to have a production meeting while we set up and we're fighting with each other about microphones and compressors and a bunch of bullshit, and we needed to stop doing that.
Tom knows I need the distressor, baby.
For that big radio voice. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, Howard Stern. Sunday.
But seriously, we do need some help. We're looking for a production assistant. DM us, call us if you have our numbers. There will definitely be some perks involved. I won't go into detail yet, but we'd love to have some help.
You will find happiness in slavery, as Nine Inch Nails once said.
I like that. So, Christmas, how was your holiday overall?
It was great. Going home to Utah it's a weird thing for me, because nothing could be more different from Los Angeles than southern Utah. So my family is from St. George, Zion's area, Zion's Canyon area. It's pretty warm most of the year, I would say. Like, it dips down into like the high 20s at night. You know what I mean? But
that's pretty serious.
It's pretty serious. But like during the day, it's usually around 50, 60 degrees kind of thing. But what the real stress is for me about going home is that no one in my family gets along unless I'm there.
Oh, you're like the peacemaker?
I'm the conduit. I am the glue. I'm the person in the family that people, they look to me as like a point of happiness when we all used to get along and everything. And when I come home, it's me herding cats to get them to talk to each other, to commit to things with each other, to go out and
Your
spend
Aunt
time.
Dolores is like, oh, Tommy's home. Let's put aside all of our fucking beefs.
No, it's me going, hey, will you fucking text her, please? Please, we're going to go over there right now. We're going to go on a hike. We're going to play a game tonight. Can we just get this to happen? We're a family. Please, everyone.
Everywhere you go, you got to be building community, getting people together.
That's what I do. And
Dude, you should be in the United Nations.
I'm going to be in government one day. Y'all just wait for Mayor TC, Governor TC.
Not after this podcast gets out.
They're going to hear about all the bullshit I did in my life, and just I'm going to be completely excised from all politics, I think.
So you're herding cats, getting people to get along, getting plans to congeal, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and my sister ruined Christmas breakfast, which was kind of the worst.
That sounds like a good story. Should we go into it?
Yeah, so for about 72 hours before Christmas Day morning, my sister starts talking all this shit, okay? And she's like, we are going to have the world's best sourdough cinnamon rolls for Christmas morning. And she starts selling me out. She's like, it's going to be mall quality. You're going to say, who the fuck is Cinnabon?
Mall quality.
Yeah, she's like, it's going to be dripping with all this cinnamon and sugar. It's going to be the most delightful thing ever. It's going to be the best breakfast you ever had. And I'm like, oh, good. I can't wait for this. And so we're talking about it on Christmas Eve. I'm like, so, hey, what time are those cinnamon rolls coming out so they can kind of, mature in the defrost and and she's like, it's going to be, I made this sourdough. It's going to be awesome. I have a starter that I still have from COVID.
She's setting the expectations quite high.
Oh, no, she's setting this boom, epically
That's
high.
the first mistake.
Epically high. She's been selling me like 72 hours of nothing but cinnamon roll talk, like hot cinnamon roll talk
Holy
the entire
shit.
time. So I get over there and I start talking to my sister. Many of you probably saw this on Instagram. She's like, oh, I screwed up. I didn't get up in the morning. I didn't take it out of the fridge. So it's still cold and now I have to cook it. And she's like, but we do have some other food and you can try to cook that. And I'm like, what? I've been sold on this for... And I gave her shit. She ruined Christmas for me at least because I'm a fat kid. I wanted cinnamon rolls more than anything else
Well,
in
and you
life.
built up anticipation. You sold it really high.
Yeah, and I'm thinking I'm going to eat 2-3 cinnamon rolls, have a good time. My sister was supposed to get up in the morning, take them out. She did not. So she got up and she started pulling these things out. She's like, there's the cinnamon rolls. I'm like, that does not look like mall quality, bro.
Wow.
It was bad.
So this was the big scandal at the Chandler household.
Yeah, the Chandler household was ruined. And then my sister was like, why don't you go out and cook the rest of breakfast? And she sends me out to a Blackstone they have outside by their chicken pen. So there's chickens all around, jumping all over me and everything else like that.
What do you mean a Blackstone?
A Blackstone is like a grill with a flat top.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So I open it up and this motherfucker hasn't been cleaned since like May. Ooh. So there's just crap everywhere. There's old, chicken on there. So I go, screw it. Go in the kitchen.
I can just hear you being like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. So I go in the kitchen. I pull out all this like aluminum foil. I put it all over the Blackstone and start spraying.
That'll kill you.
Start spraying it with Pam. And I'm out there cooking eggs, bacon. I'm cooking hash browns. I'm doing the whole 9 yards out on
Any
the flat
pics or
top.
videos of this? I'd like to see this.
No, I had to like fuck the cook, like fucking apron. No, I didn't. But anyway.
I think it would be great if you had the apron and that's it. And your ass was hanging out and your family had to endure
and there's
that.
chickens all around me.
And then when your sister says, what the fuck, Tom? Why is your ass out? You're like, well, you didn't take the cinnamon rolls out, so I brought the buns out, baby.
She didn't take this Christmas breakfast seriously. That's what happened. So I had to take the buns out. I had to cook everything. Cooked a bunch of sausage, bacon, things like that.
How many people are in this quorum
There's
here?
probably about 12, 14 of us.
That's
kind
pretty
of thing.
good.
So like I said, we got it together eventually, but I'm the one that saved Christmas, not my sister.
With the breakfast.
With the breakfast. Just want to be clear. That's the biggest part of Christmas. There's that and the ham, dude. That's all.
Follow-up question.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody in this group of 12 to 14 people drink like you do?
Absolutely. None of them drank one thing the entire weekend.
Oh, really?
In fact, my parents,
Holy
dude,
shit.
my mom is so Mormon, so crazily religious that if you drink around her, she like cries. Like she goes into a depression.
Oh, so what are you doing? Taking shots on the sly?
No, my cousin brought me a couple bottles of whiskey, Stranahan's Cowboy. You're the best. He brought me those. He snuck them into my room when he came to my parents' house and put them up in the closet, like far away. So I would just go in there every night and like be doing shots and coming back out and dealing with my family. So
This reminds me of a number of good close friends that I used to have who would go back to Ohio, to our hometown area where I grew up, except for they had major heroin habits, not just whiskey. And they were literally hiding hard drugs from their grandmas and uncles and stuff. And they had to find a dealer. Who's the dealer now? I mean, kids, stay away from drugs.
shout out to Ohio.
Shout out to drugs.
Shout out to Ohio for keeping it real. Speaking of,
I literally had a buddy, former drum player friend of mine, who was back in Ohio. He got like committed to a rehab like during the Christmas break.
he got an intervention during Christmas.
Exactly. That could be a story.
Every
for
time I
another
walk
time.
into a room full of people and my family sitting around, I get that crazy anxiety. That
You're a
it's
little worried it's about to drop.
It's about to drop. I'm about to have to go to rehab.
I can imagine like a sweet EDM track that's like tied to your intervention dropping. It's like,
Welcome to your intervention, Tom Chandler.
that'd be a good drop for a track. Actually, we should do that.
You're surrounded
Let's
by
take an
people
action item.
You're surrounded by people that love you, Nick Wolf.
Oh God. So your Christmas was interesting. The breakfast was the biggest downer, but you saved the day. Pretty heroic of you.
I came through.
In my case, my triumph this year is that I made it through all the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's, all of that without beating anyone's ass, chewing anyone out, hurting anyone's
or
feelings.
drinking a drop.
No, I did drink during those holidays.
That's good. That's
I'm
good.
on the dry January now.
Yeah, which is lame and horrific. And anybody, just so you know, I hate everyone that doesn't drink the first week of January.
I'm doing the whole month, baby.
Ugh.
Although I might make an exception for your birthday.
It's just
That is a
it's just
special
awful.
occasion.
Like when you have a birthday like mine, which is 7 calendar days after New Year's Day, literally everyone's on their new me, new year bullshit. And like, I'm not drinking right now. I'm not eating right now. I'm not going to have that cake.
Wait, so when's your birthday? It's in like 2 days?
Yeah, it's in like 2 days. So, but
Holy
I'm going to be 51 years old. God.
Oh my God. You're like the Clint Eastwood of local record production.
Clint Eastwood. My ass is just falling off, and I'm yelling at like Korean kids in my front yard.
Shout out to Tom's birthday, everybody. When we post this, I want to see a lot of fucking comments wishing TC a happy fucking birthday. TJ.
Anyway, we're getting back to things. So tell me more about, did you have anything else happen during Christmas?
I was really trying to be on my best behavior with my family, and I accomplished my goal. There were a couple situations where I wanted to let someone know how I really felt and take the gloves off, but I didn't. I took the high road. I'm maturing. I'm getting wiser in my elder years and stuff, and it was all good. It was all sweet, and although I was at this one Christmas party where one of my arch nemeses was chosen to play Santa, and this guy who I already don't like comes out in friggin' Santa costume. And
you should have sat on his lap, dude.
Oh God, it's a long story. I think it'd be very fun for a future episode, but I think we could table it for now. Anyways, I just feel successful. I didn't ruin anyone's holidays, unlike your sister ruining your holidays.
Yeah, she did. She did a goddamn awful job. But I love her. She's a good person. But
dude, that just reminds me. Many years ago, Christmas time, my sister had her wedding night, I think on December 31st, like on New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah.
In Ohio, right?
People do that, though, so they can get everybody together.
Well, yeah. And also, it's a party scenario and people are off work. Blah, 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 right?
Next time.
I will table this for future, but I just want to say, I ruined my sister's extravaganza. I'm not going to say anymore. I don't want to spoil it. It'll be a good story.
No. You
You
can't stop. You got to do this right now. I'm not going to.
You want to do this right now?
I want to hear about how you ruined your sister's.
We might not get to these other topics.
It doesn't matter. We have tons of time. We haven't been on for 2 weeks. We'll take care of it.
Okay, so I fly back from California. Everyone's in good spirits. My sister found a pretty good dude. His name is also Nick, interestingly enough.
Ooh,
and
weird.
He's a pretty level-headed, balanced, chill dude. And that's what I like. Anyone who's dating anyone in my family, I want them to be just stoic, level-headed, not getting into anything crazy.
I.e. not me.
Yeah, just like kind of chill, whatever. Anyway, it's New Year's Eve, and it was in Oberlin, which is where I went to school. I went to music school there, and it was really nice to be back in the city over there, if you can call it a city. And I love Oberlin. Shout out to Oberlin. But anyways, we've been drinking since early in the day because it's a big party. I'm in the wedding party also. I'm in the tux. We're taking a bunch of pictures, professional photos, blah blah blah, and I generally can hold my drinks pretty well, usually. But, this is progressing throughout the day, and things start to get a little bit interesting, a little bit emotional. My mom has a big family with like 13 fucking siblings, okay?
Jesus
which is crazy.
Christ, that was a busy grandma.
You said that once already, and clearly she was. But like they split into two factions. They were like they were having a beef over where my grandma's nursing home should be situated, which is a whole other long story. So some of the aunts showed up who had beef with like my side of this thing, and I, being kind of trashed, wanting to make peace, I was out on the dance floor like pleading with them. Hey, life is short. Grandma's about to die. Get your shit together. Make peace. Make amends. Like life is too short for all this. I was really trying to help, I swear. But it got really emotional. The aunts are crying. Everyone's crying. So this is the first part of the whole thing.
So you triggered the entire wedding party.
A little bit, yeah. And then some time goes on, and probably at that point when everyone was crying, I should have like known. I should just bail out.
Maybe you should shut the fuck up. Yeah,
that too, maybe. But then my mom got remarried to this guy who's also a pretty nice guy, but he had pissed me off in a couple different ways previously. And
just what's the cliff notes on that? Like, how did he piss you off? You say he's a pretty nice guy, but what were the things that he did that weren't fantastic?
He was making inappropriate remarks to my date.
Okay.
Yeah, which is an interesting story in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
But when that happened, I like told him in a diplomatic, professional way, "Hey, that's not cool. Don't do that. I will beat the living fuck out of you if you don't get your shit together."
Wow.
That kind of thing.
Resorting to violence, Nick.
Anyways, so then the course of the night goes on. I don't know if I should even say all this, but
who cares? 12 people listen to this podcast. It's going to be fine.
He came up to me and he wanted to like debate about what had happened and what I said to him. And I kind of brushed it off. And then later in the night, I said to like my brother, said, you know what? I'm going to go tell him how I really feel kind of thing. Right. And I go over there and I'm heading towards him. And my brother.
This is whiskey thoughts right here, bro.
Yeah. My brother jumps between us, grabs me, and socks me, punches me.
Mario.
Yes.
He punched you.
Punched me. And
clearly Mario had some drinks too.
Yeah. And he's in the wedding party too. And then I'm like, let's go outside. So he and I go out to like the lobby of this place. It's a big hall that we had rented. Like no one else is really there. And at this point he and I are having words. I'm like, what the fuck, man? You just hit me. And if it was someone else, I probably would just start fighting with them. But it's my brother. I love him. I'm like, I don't want to fight with you. So we kind of start wrestling around. And then my uncle comes in and grabs me, pulls me off my brother, pushes me down into a couch. And he was trying to help. It wasn't like he was trying to beat me up. But he was like, dude, this is not cool. This is your sister's wedding. He was trying to squash it, right? So this is all craziness. Should have never happened. I feel bad about it. And then...
How did this all turn out at the end? It was just a bunch of people crying.
Well, hold on.
And pissed
This
off?
gets more interesting.
Okay.
Then, because of this wrestling match that's going on, I don't know if it was my brother or my uncle, but someone ripped my shirt. And at this point, I'm like really mad, right? And I get up and I rip my shirt open. I'm like,
chest hairs popping out like
just
Paul
crazy
Stanley.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
And like my aunts are there, and it's a whole stupid thing. And then, I get up and I get those guys off me, and I kind of say some certain words to them, like, like, you can't take me, whatever. I don't know, some stupid shit.
Oh, God, here we go.
And I went back into the wedding without a shirt. And I went to the bar and poured myself another whiskey cocktail with no shirt on.
Because that's going to solve it. More whiskey on this problem.
And then at that point, I think that was the end of the whole thing. But that was enough to cause plenty of unnecessary drama. And I am embarrassed and ashamed of my actions, and I have apologized profusely to my sister and other people. Now when we look back on it, though, it's kind of a joke. Like, I think they've gotten over it. They realize that, hey, maybe we shouldn't do it on New Year's Eve. Maybe we shouldn't have an unlimited open bar.
Sour
blah, 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 blah.
Sour times.
And then, I went back to my hotel. Well, there's more stuff. I want to stop it there, though.
Okay.
But it was a very fun event until things turned a little sour.
So this is the day that Nick Wolf ruined New Year's wedding celebration.
Yeah. And I think my
terrible.
sister's forgiven me. Her name's Rachel. She's very sweet. I love you, Rachel. I'm so sorry I did that. And it's on the podcast now, so it's official.
What year was this?
I want to say 2016 or something.
It's been about 10 years. She's probably over it by now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've hung out with her plenty since then. And like this summer, I was at the Incarceration Festival. I stopped at her house and surprised her, and she was really happy. I have actually a great video of her being surprised and crying.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, you showed that to me.
Overall, we're a pretty good, close, tight-knit family, and I love all of them.
And so are we. Like I said, it's just that getting people to like get along is sometimes, a burden when you go home for the holidays, because I haven't been there the whole time, and people have beef and they have issues. And like when you're not there and you come back and you're like, hey, can't we just all be a family again?
Well, that was my initial motivation at the wedding, was like trying to unite my mom's two warring factions of sisters. Which I think I helped a little, but I didn't solve the whole thing. And of course, you can't in that moment. You can't. Meanwhile, the DJ's blaring like the crazy wedding music that they play, right?
2016, we were still listening to like LMFAO, Pound.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, it was just going.
Yeah.
Bruno Mars just killing it with some Uptown Funk, things like that.
What a journey. But so, I don't want to have any scenarios like that ever again. So I intentionally set out my goal to be peaceful, to be kind, to make sure everyone is supported. And if there is a problem, resolve it offline. Take the people outside and just talk, and don't make it into a thing.
Do you think alcohol had a...
Nothing. Zero. Impossible.
Possible?
I don't see how it could have an effect, Tom.
All you non-professionals that get in fights when you're drunk. Ugh, I curse you.
Well, I was a young, crazy bastard, and it was nutty. But moving on. Do we want to get into more stuff here?
Yeah, get into some more
stuff.
stuff.
Rolling here, baby?
I have no fucking idea. Just go.
All right. So the next thing is, Tom, when I came over here today, you were elated and you shared with me immediately your newfound Instagram superstardom. You want to talk about that?
Dude, my OnlyFans opens tomorrow. I got like 60K views. I was just talking about music. I was doing the same shit I do every day. So literally just walking up on the hill, talking about thoughts about music. And I just said, hey, musicians, don't quit. We're doing this for a different reason. And it blew up. It went really, really big today. And I'm really surprised. But also...
How big is big?
And like I said, 60K, there was like fucking 2,000 shares or something like that. It's a pretty good amount. I mean, it looked like I was a hot chick.
And this is all organic?
It was all organic. I
Wow.
paid $0. I never pay for anything. I'm just doing it for me. And I've always just done it for me. I don't care. And I'm...
Also, consistency is key. And you are nothing if not consistent.
Yeah, because I'm a boring person, you know.
Well, no, but you just stay at it. Like almost every day you're posting something, right?
Yeah. I try to do that and just make sure that I share it the same way every time. But today it really did blow up. Thanks everybody who, reached out, spoke up, said something. It was great. And also tell the people that shared it. That's fucking fantastic. Like we haven't seen action like that ever. And it's great. I mean, I only started Instagram like in 2023. So I'm still pretty new to this whole experience, just getting used
And you're also technologically illiterate.
as you know.
So the fact that you're overcoming your disability is quite impressive.
I basically have internet dyslexia. It's horrific. Anyway, but that's been a bright spot kind of in this season right before I turn 51 and want to kill myself,
Well, I'm happy for you. I think you deserve all the accolades and impressions and attention, and because you have good ideas and good feedback, and your heart's in the right place. You just want people to stick with music and to do the best work they can do.
Yeah, and if it's more than that, though, what are we doing? Like, impress yourself, impress your friend group, make stuff that matters, that says something about you. That's what music is for. It's not for making a fucking $1 million anymore. It's not for anybody anymore. It's about literally expressing yourself and not being like fucking slaves to the AI overlords. You know what I mean? Like, cause that shit's coming. It's been like AI Drake outsold Drake. That's why Warner Brothers and Universal got in that suit a while ago. And they were like, hey, this is our intellectual property. And then they sold all the intellectual property. So things are only going to get worse as far as AI goes.
I think that's a fair guesstimate.
I mean, look at it this way. I mean, if you're an Eagles fan, new Eagles songs will be coming out every month, built upon the algorithm that the Eagles did before. And because Warner Brothers sold it all to, Suno and Audio and everything else like that, it's just going to keep happening.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I don't want that, man. I don't want a fake Eagles song. I only want the real music made by those dudes. And
in the 70s, mind you.
Yeah. And the fact that I can't have new ones, I'm okay with that. It was a moment in time, So kind of like your general perspective on like acts playing live too long, like I'm more supportive of this point, which is they had their moment, their period, whether it's 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever that is, but they're done. And I'm fine with them playing live, Eagles specifically. But why try to fuck with their legacy?
They're faking it now, though. Did you hear about that?
Are they playing tracks?
No, literally the vocals are like 100% tracks now.
Really?
And there's been proof of it.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so
that's not cool.
There's a YouTube channel called Wings of Pegasus. This guy that was on American Idol a few years ago started it. And he basically goes through and reviews phone footage and live footage from bands, whether it's on TV or whether it's off the, broadcast or YouTube channel. And he goes through and analyzes it in isolation, taking AI, stripping everything else out from it so we can see everything. The Eagles had the same performance 27 times in a row.
Oh, like he's comparing waveforms?
He's comparing waveforms and he puts them on the spectrometer where you can see where the pitch is. And nobody was off by even a cent.
That's one way to prove it.
Yeah. And they all phased. Like he put them on together and there was, you could barely hear just a little whistle in there.
Yeah.
Because they've been faking it, that's a weird thing for bands too. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Faking, like I can see if you're running a track, maybe you're singing to it. I can see maybe the harmonies are on track or they're doubled up or something like that. And maybe if we had an orchestra on the track, on the recording, we're using that live. That shit's all fine. I'm down with that as long as you're still performing with it. You know?
Like there's a certain amount of track usage that I'm totally cool with. And even with the Oceans, we have synths on tracks, we have background vocals on tracks. And, even though I want to sing perfectly, I'd rather have it be my real voice singing the lead, warts and all, with the support of this other stuff. Although, kind of a side note, we did that one tour where we didn't have a bass player, and we even had the bass on a track, but that was out of necessity and also because it saved us money. It wasn't like the bass player can't play it.
Well, and also, just to be real, bass usually does sound better if it's on a track because it's more controlled, it's more compressed, you can have more fundamental low to it. Live, it's kind of loosey-juicy and kind of bounces off the walls in weird ways. It's very different from a recording. So I'm down with a lot of that stuff. Just the Eagles are known for Seven Bridges fucking Road. They're known for singing that shit live around an acoustic guitar.
For some of the best male vocals of all time with the best harmonies of all time.
Exactly. And and so if you're not doing that anymore, or you can't do that anymore, why are you still making money for doing it? That's my issue. That's my issue. But no, that happened at the Sphere when they did those shows, everything else like that. It's like you're just watching them mime to it, and they maybe even they're hearing themselves. I don't know, and management thinks it's a good idea. I have no idea.
Well, I've seen them twice, and I mean, this is just for me to profess my love of the Eagles right now. But I was a moderate fan, and then one year it was my birthday weekend, or I'd been doing all this birthday stuff, and then it was kind of towards the end of that cycle, and then I looked online. I saw, oh my God, the Eagles are playing tonight at the Forum. Are there tickets? Yes. I've always wanted to see these guys. Let's just go, right? So I went. Blew me away. Like everything was pretty top tier. Sonically.
Was it fake though?
Well, I don't know, but here's where I'm going. The guy's son was singing at that time. Deacon Fry, I think is his name. And I believe he was singing authentically, and he sounded great. Sounded a lot like his dad. But the vocals, the harmonies, the mix, like to me it was one of the most top tier performances I've ever seen. So immediately I went from a moderate Eagles fan to like a
hyper Eagles fan,
right? Then I was at a dinner with some people, and I was telling them how great the Eagles were, and they were like, "Oh, we love the Eagles. We'd always love to see them, but we don't really have the money." And I was like, "Oh, let's see when they're playing next." I found it. And to be fair, I was a little drunk at this time.
Nick, I think maybe this dry January is going to be good for you.
Alcohol is not good for people. It's evil.
It's great for me.
But anyway, so I'm like looking up the tickets, right? I'm like, oh, they're going to be playing at the Forum again. This is great. But I wanted to get closer, right? And so I'm saying to my buddies and stuff, I'm like, should we do this? Should we go do this? Whatever. Tickets are like X dollars each. And it was kind of expensive. But I had just had a pretty good month. I had some money in the bank. I was like, fuck it, let's go. And I bought like 10 Eagles tickets, bro.
Oh my God, dude.
and I'm thinking like these guys are going to hit me back with some money at the very least, right?
No.
But I also shook hands with them. I'm like, are you going to go? And are you going to help contribute? Shake hands all around the table. Everyone's like, we're in, we're fucking in. And we put the date down. We saved the date, right? Then pandemic hit like a few months later. So that show got postponed for like 3 years. It kept getting scheduled, postponed. I'm like thousands and thousands of dollars in on this Eagles gig, waiting for the damn gig to happen, bro. And finally it happens. I did recoup some of the money, not all of it. But I was able to fulfill all the tickets. We were like in like the 10th row, right in front of the Forum.
That's pretty sick.
It was phenomenal, bro.
And it was probably fake, bro.
It might be. But I think the guy's son was still singing. And I'd like to think that was real. I think when they switched to this track thing was after he's not in there anymore.
Maybe.
I think.
We
need to look this up.
It's recent stuff, but on Wings of Pegasus, you can see all that stuff. Like he gets into it.
Moral of the story, guys, do not be buying concert tickets when you're 3 sheets to the wind.
Nick, I think you need to stop drinking for January.
Great idea. I'm going to do dry January. I just made the decision. No, I made that decision weeks ago.
I know he didn't even drink today. It's very disappointing.
Tom was really sad when I told him that. He hazed me a little bit, but I stuck strong to my principles, guys.
Hazing you like I'm a frat?
You are kind of like a frat, dude.
No, I'm not.
This studio is practically a frat,
dude.
It's
not a frat. Leave me alone.
The only thing is frats have better quality alcohol than you have.
Let me tell you what the deal is, though, with my low-quality alcohol. There's a reason why there's nothing here but Jim Beam and Popov all the time, okay? The reason being is that when you drink daily like I do, and I drink probably like 3/4 or a bottle daily. Yes, it's fucking terrible for my health. I realize that. So is smoking. So is everything else I do. So is the food I eat. Yes, I'm a terrible, disgusting human.
You're
get
doing
that.
pretty well, all things considered.
All things considered, I'm still okay.
Yeah.
But the alcohol situation, I have to keep it down around like $50-$60 a week. And that's the best way for me to do that. I don't drink at bars. I don't.
It's like Rick James when you used to spend like 30 grand a week on Coke, man. You have like that level of habit, but with Pop Off.
With Pop Off, Jim Beam, yes. Like that and diet soda, that's all I really consume. So,
hey, speaking of which, though, you did say in one of your videos, I believe it was in your verbal part of your video, that one of your New Year's things was, hey, let's keep doing what we're doing. Let's make music with our friends. All that good stuff that you're typically going to say. But I think I heard you either say it or in your text, you said, I'm thinking about drinking a little less this year.
Yeah,
or something.
I'm just trying to like focus on it from a health standpoint because my blood pressure is disgusting. Like a lot of people are like, Tom, why are you always so red in the face and everything? Well, it's because my blood pressure I'm genetically high blood pressure just in general. And all the smoking, the drinking actually lowers it a little bit, but all the smoking and the food I eat and everything else like that is pretty bad for me. And I have like rosacea flush a lot of the time. So I try to stay tan so it's not as apparent to people, but
that I did not know.
Yeah, the face and stuff like that. I'm always like a little bit flush and a little bit pink. And here's the thing. I'm 75% Irish, and we're good at drinking. We're drinking people. That's what we do.
And you're pale and you can get sunburned.
You can get sunburned. So the whole 9 yards, So it's one of those situations where I'm going to make more moves after my birthday. Like this is honestly, guys, for me, like getting older is a very depressing thing. I hate it. Like I don't feel like I've got this sage wisdom or experience or anything going forward. I just feel like the same person I felt like when I was 26 years old. And I'm still, living very much the same life where I'm just making music with my friends, going to shows, doing things that I've always done.
You've matured a bit.
A bit. I mean, I've changed a little bit here and there, but like for me, it's this time of year, like when everyone else quits drinking, this is when it kind of ramps up for me, honestly. Like,
what if we celebrate your birthday in a different month? Why not? Fuck it. Have a June Tom birthday.
Because I don't want to be a fucking Cancer, bro.
Well, pick a month. I don't care. I'm just throwing one out.
It's fun when it is. And honestly, I think that's why astrology works. It's because birthdays set you up for your expectations for your life. So if you ever know, like most singers are Leos, honestly. They're born in August, which is the time when you have a birthday, there's no holidays in fucking August, right? So it's like, we're gonna have a bitchin' party. We're gonna have a picnic outside. The sun's gonna be out.
Bitchin' party.
Yeah, and my time of year, it's like it's a week after New Year's Day.
That's a little rough.
It's rough. Like no one's drinking, no one's eating.
But hold
on
on,
their shit.
I want to come back to the point because I didn't land on it well enough. I care about you. I think you're a great guy. We have a long friendship.
Stop this.
And I don't care if, I'm right more often than you. It's just the way life is. No, I'm just kidding. But on a serious note, I do think I worry about your health a little bit from time to time because I want you to have a long, fruitful path from here to the end of the rainbow, whatever it is. And I do think a little less alcohol will be in your interest, in your best interest.
Here's the thing, Nick.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, like I'm here for a good time, not for a long time.
It's like that's a Kramer quote, here's to feeling good all the time or something like that.
But that's literally like how I operate. And I never planned, like a lot of my grandparents and things like that didn't make it very long. My one grandmother did make it a while, but everybody else was dead, 65, 70. So as far as I'm concerned, I want to just squeeze the most out of life every day. And for me, having some drinks, working on music, having fun with my friends, that's what I do. And it's actually kind of tough. It's kind of tough, dude, to like get in the mode and really feel like I'm creating and making music. And I made a lot of the best decisions ever drunk in my life, honestly.
Well, according to the stories I told you earlier, clearly I did as well.
Clearly. How I ruined
You're just
New
built
Year's
different,
wedding.
Tom,
And honestly, like if anybody ever told me like it's gonna like take me eventually, I don't know if I would stop, to be honest. Like,
well, look, my prescription for you is very mild. It's just a little less some of the time.
30% less per day.
Yeah, that would be
no,
huge.
and that's kind of my goal, is to kind of start scaling it back a little bit. But so you guys know, like if you're like, Tom, what did you do today? Well, I got up, I went for a hike, I made a video for Instagram, I came back and I drank and made music. And that's what I do most days, 12 hours a day kind of situation.
You forgot about the part where you became Insta famous.
That was today. My OnlyFans opens tomorrow. You'll be able to see this in its full glory. Ladies, are you ready? Here we go. Sign up now. Firemen, yes, you want to see all of
You
that.
got to start running some specials.
Specials.
Yeah. Dude, that is something that I find pretty weird, by the way.
What?
You'll see, you'll just be scrolling through Instagram, stories or whatever it is. And you'll just see, usually it's women, but probably there's some guys. I mean, I don't really see guys doing this, but I don't want to make this about women in particular. I'm just saying, they'll be saying stuff like, I've got specials, I've got deals on content. You know what I mean? It'll be like, normally I charge $10 for a nudie photo, but today I'm only charging $2. So you should really get in on this. I find that unusual. I think that's a little weird.
I find it kind of gross that, here's the thing. The sexuality thing like that, I feel like, what are we doing, man?
That's kind of what I'm saying. What are we doing?
Are we just cheaping out on what, and why would anybody sell that? I understand dancers and strippers because of performance and stuff like that. Burlesque, I understand all that. I understand drag shows. All these things are cool. They're good. They're fine. But when we're just showing our butthole to people on the internet, that's
That's kind of what I'm saying.
It's kind of gross and egregious. And if it's getting down to under $10, what are we doing? And how many people are actually buying it?
And I just want to be clear. I'm not trying to shame anybody. People that want to do sex work, I don't care as long as you're not hurting people.
No, it's still
that's
work.
Cool.
If you're getting paid,
I'm not dissing
whatever.
it. The only thing I'm complaining about right now
is the discount
rates.
rates.
This weird thing. I think it's weird to sell a picture or a video. I think that's kind of weird. But then when you go on and you say, today only, I'm giving 50% off. I mean, I feel like it's just not good for people.
No,
on either side of that coin.
I mean, that's like if Gibson lowered prices.
Well, yes, things should have some inherent value.
Intrinsic value to it, yes.
And
exactly.
then when you dilute it, even with music, that's why I don't really like AI songs and stuff. I feel like you're diluting the purity, the product, the meaning of it. You're taking all the value and just sucking it out of there, no pun intended. And it's kind of
Yeah, I mean, but we're at the point where a chick from 90 Day Fiancé was selling farts in a jar for 2 years till she blew her butthole out. So, I mean, did you hear about this?
No.
There was this chick that was she's in a lesbian relationship on 90 Day Fiancé, and a bunch of dudes got into her and started hitting her. So she made this OnlyFans where she would literally sell her farts in a jar for I'm not kidding, $5-10 grand a fart.
What?
And dudes would pay for these farts and the core nourished what's it? I can't remember. Is it
those mason jar things?
Those mason jar things. I think they're called Noors or something like that. And she'd make it so the dude could open it up in bed and feel like she was in bed with them farting. That's wild that someone would pay for that.
I mean, it's wild in its own right. But at that price point, it's really wild.
Yeah, no, and she was saying dudes would literally tell her what to eat before we had chili dogs and stuff. They were requesting shit.
I mean, I don't know if you're projecting right now because you one time gave me this whole diatribe about how good you are at smelling a fart and telling what the person ate.
that is true, but that's usually with Ron Geffen.
Yeah, you and Ron.
Who works here. And Ron will eat a fucking pasta and meatballs and then fart all day in the studio, and it just smells like Italian seasoning and garlic.
And you're why thank you.
Why thank you for that beef seasoning. It's awesome.
Gross.
So gross. Yeah. Eyes are watering. Everyone's leaving the studio because the studio's half the size of this. Insane.
Well, Tom, you know what I'm noticing, dude?
What?
Just zooming out from these topics for a moment. I do feel like because we took a break on the podcast for a few weeks and we haven't seen each other, I feel like there's a lot of potent energy in our topics today. We're really kicking ideas back and forth with a lot of velocity and a lot of energy. I think that's a very good thing.
Yeah, no, I feel energized for it again. That's for sure.
Tom's been texting me dude, when are you coming over? I miss you, bro.
Dude,
I miss the pod.
2026, though, I have a really good feeling about for some reason, despite the fact that shit's that's going on in the world and things that are bad. I don't know. For some reason this year, maybe it's because I'm not in an abusive relationship and not having a bunch of drama in my life that
you stop buying farts at 10K a pop.
Stop buying farts from it. Yeah, for 10K a pop. No, but like literally, like I feel positive about this year. I feel positive about music, and I feel like we're going to make some of the best music we've ever made in our life this year. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just a certain trajectory. 1986 was a great year for music. 1996 was a good year for music.
Oh, so you think it's a six thing?
I think it is. Like there's something about the sixes, you know? And
I do get into a bit of numerology myself.
Oh, really? You're like Maynard from Tool and shit?
I don't know how much I truly believe, but it works for me personally, you know? Like a great number is 3. And then any multiple of 3 tends to be pretty potent, dude.
You know what's
6,
wild
9?
is that the Chinese believe that the number 4 means dead or death, so they avoid it.
I've heard something like that.
If you go to get married on a date and you're getting married to a Chinese chick or it's a Chinese couple, they won't ever get married on a date that has a 4 in it because it's bad luck and a bad omen.
I've heard something like this. Hey, that reminds me, not only do we need a production assistant and or camera operator and or, you know, scheduler, all of this good stuff. We need like a sidekick on the show. Like Joe Rogan has this Jamie guy, for example. Like I'd like to be able to say, hey, little Stevie, can you look up in ChatGPT or Perplexity or something, can you look up if this thing about the 4s is actually really true? Is Tom remembering this correctly?
I'm remembering this correctly. This is absolutely true.
We need like a fact checker though.
No, but there's trust me on this one.
Trust me on the 4s.
Trust me on the 4s.
Okay, it sounds like you have some deep-seated
No,
evidence.
it's just. I remember talking to my former Asian in-laws, and they were like, "You can't get married on a date that has a 4 in it." And they're like, because it's bad culturally for us. So it makes sense.
What would be a good date for that?
8, anything with 8 in it.
But that's just for when you break it down.
It doesn't make sense. It's superstition, dude.
Like, do people know about fractions and reducing fractions and stuff?
Apparently. But they'll have like 888 Lucky Bar, like over in Alhambra and stuff like that. Like, yeah, you've probably seen bars with a lot of 8s on them. That's usually what it is.
Well,
karaoke bars. And stuff
I do this just for the sheer enjoyment of it. But if I can learn something too, then that's icing on the cake. I think, though, we chalked this episode full of a lot of good stuff. I think we might want to call it and do another one another day.
Okay. I'm down. Do you know how much time we went so far?
I have a feeling it's pretty good.
Okay.
But for the folks at home, some future topics just to get you kind of excited. We still have to do Tom's life story part 2. Which might not be the end. That might just be the next 10 years. Right? Because we got to high school.
Because it's a long fucking life if you're me.
Well, let's have 5 episodes, 10 years an episode. Something like that. We got to do that. And then I do want to talk about AI and the effect on music. That's something I definitely want to get into. I want to do a talk with you about the economics of music because I know you have a lot of experience, feelings, thoughts, etc. Those are just a few. And then I do think I'd like to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world without going into politics too deeply. I mean, that's kind of tough, but maybe. You know.
And also we are going to have some friends on. Probably Leah Martin Brown, probably Plastic Rhino wants to come in. There's a bunch of people that have been hitting us up. Danny Hector.
I want to get the Taproot guys on here.
Taproot guys, Heather to the Max. Lots of people want to come on and talk to us about stuff. So we'll be keeping up on that.
We should get Zach St. John.
Oh, yeah. He's not going to say shit, though, dude.
Well, no, I don't want him to disclose anything that he's not comfortable with. Same with all guests.
I know.
But we could at least talk about,
But Zach does have.
He's got a lot of great stories.
He's got a lot of great stories, and he has one of the best gigs ever.
Yeah. And he's also a very serious, focused, productive musician, which is really what we're all about.
Fantastic producer, fantastic drummer, fantastic friend of mine for 20 years almost at this point. So, yeah.
He's like the older brother I never had.
You wish you had him, but he's mine, so fuck you.
All right.
Oh, wait. Shout out to Matt and Jen for the Sabrina Carpenter Jesus candle that they got me for Christmas. Love it. We're going to keep that here from here on out because she's my Lord and Savior, Sabrina Carpenter.
It's our spirit animal.
Spirit animal. This has been TC and the Wolf. We are going to get the fuck out of here. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Goodbye.
Ciao.